Everybody has one podcast. We are back
Yes.
another week. So much happening in the world of sports. I always start the podcast. I want to thank all of our people that everybody has one family. And by the way, I'm your host, Jason Flake, my co-host, Lance Reynolds, aka the People's Champ.
What up, though?
We want to thank the Everybody Has One family for the engagement this past week, over 3,000 views on the YouTube channel. We so appreciative of the love, man. Y'all interacting, viewing, interacting, commenting on, and sharing all of the shorts, all of the videos. Obviously, watching and rewatching the lives on the all of the interaction that we got on the social sites. We appreciate y'all so much, man. Thank y'all for continuing to tap in. Please continue to like, continue to share, continue to subscribe. That is Everybody Has the number one sports podcast, on YouTube. That's Everybody Has One spelled out sports podcast. Everywhere else, that's TikTok, that's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's Twitch. Please continue to keep checking those social sites, man. Continue to watch. Cut those notifications on. When you hit that notification, make sure you hit all so you are notified every time that we post new content. Thank you all so much for the love. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for the love, y'all.
Oh, man. As y'all know, we are a Detroit-based podcast, man. So as much as I would like to probably move on to different topics.
Like the Tigers or something?
Yeah, like something positive. We do need to start with the Lions.
Weather's great.
The weather is very nice. It had cooled off a little bit. I thought fall was going to kick in the door, but it's going back up into the 80s this coming week. But unfortunately, you're not here for a weather forecast. You're here to talk sports and to listen to us talk sports. Our Lions, they did have their debut this past Sunday in the late window, about a 4:25, 4:26 kickoff against the Green Bay Packers up in Lambeau Field. I think the Lions showed up at 4:25. But they did lose that game. It was an inauspicious start to the season. They lost 27-13. Lowest points output since week 7 of 2023. Last year, the Lions lost 2 games by combined 10 points, lost by 13 in week 1. Nothing really looked good, so I'm not going to make many comments on that. I'll take your thoughts, man, when you were sitting there watching it for as much as you could stomach. What did you see, man? And I wonder if it's the same as what I saw, and were you as equally disappointed as I was and as many in the fan base were? Are you not panicking? Are you okay with what you saw? Where are you at, man? Talk us down.
Well, my man, to quote one of our favorite MCs, I'm going to see if I can know the ledge.
Yeah, drop some knowledge on this.
When referencing my emotions throughout watching, probably in terms of a deep investment, the first 25 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
After that, I was pretty much just, back. I was just watching out of sheer, just masochistic Lions.
Yeah, right.
Fandom,
Right.
It was really, to me, it was a lot of the fears that I had percolating from last year.
Right.
That spilled over in the week 1. That was probably the most disappointing thing. There were a lot of other things that disappointed me, but a lot of the, I guess if we were like going like in a numerical order of fears that I may have had going into this season, A lot of them I just wasn't expecting to see
Mm-hmm.
in the first like 4 drives of the game.
Right.
You know, it was just like, oh man. The most shocking thing to me would probably be the way they were dominated up front
Yeah.
on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
That was probably the most shocking thing. Like, I mean, we couldn't run the ball at all.
No.
Like at all. So that's concerning. You know, it just kind of makes you wonder what was going on upstairs after, you know, Frank Ragnow lets you know that it's a wrap. I mean, Graham Glasgow and Christian Mahogany struggled.
And Tate Ratledge.
Yeah.
All three.
Ratledge, yeah. I mean,
all of the interior linemen.
Yeah, I mean,
and the exterior ones too.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like Panay Sewell, like
he was unlike himself.
You know,
Taylor Decker was Taylor Deck chair.
But it was glaring to me because the interior guys as the game went on were the guys that I was seeing, you know, kept needing to be helped up off the field at the end of every play. I was like, oh man, you know, so
yeah, no, and I'll let you finish.
Yeah, no, go ahead, bro.
But the point that just to bolster that, we know Rashawn Gary and Micah Parsons, I think is why it's so glaring about the interior guys. I don't know none of the interior people now that Kenny Clark was traded, which makes it so blaring that they struggle so much in the interior. We thought that we would have an advantage in there. Even Dan Campbell before the game was talking about how happy he was that Kenny Clark was no longer in there, thinking that would be some sort of an advantage for us. And they still struggled mightily.
Yeah, 46 rush yard.
That's what I'm saying. So like, so you know, not to denigrate Green Bay, but they have relative no names in there playing defensive tackle for them, journeyman, and you couldn't move them. So who you gonna move? But I'll let you finish cooking.
No, I appreciate the extra sauce.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that was glaring. Terry and Arnold.
He's on my list too.
I mean, you know, you kind of want to give, you know, the younger players the grace. Like, okay, last year, you know, maybe he's like trying to find his way. Maybe he's, you know, trying to show, you know, officials and around the type of, you know, player he is in terms of his level of physicality, blah, blah, blah. And it went to like that. It went from that to like, is this dude Brian Westbrook 2.0?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because now on top of him being consistently picked on and drawing penalties, now he's showing that he's injury prone.
Right.
So those are all three, you know, red flags.
The trifecta.
Yeah. Jack Campbell and just the middle of the defense in general.
Mm-hmm.
That was always a concern of mine.
Yep.
We're still not completely healthy there, and even when we were there, a lot of that I believe was enhanced by the acumen of Aaron Glenn.
Yep.
You know, and a lot of the creativity there.
Yep.
But to the defense's credit, as the game went on, they played significantly better than the offense did.
Yes. I agree.
You know, they looked similar to what we were used to seeing as opposed to the offense. The offense, I don't know what they do if they can't run the ball. Because, I mean, we know what Jared Goff is under pressure.
Right.
You know, we get this. And if we can't, you know, consistently get the ball to our skill guys in in space. J-Mo, Laporta, Isaac Tesla showed you, just throw the ball near him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So now you've got to figure
he's
out a
great
way
at contested
creatively.
catches. Yeah.
You see now creatively you have to figure out a way to get him into the fold, but none of that happens if our
Offensive line doesn't hold up.
linemen are helping each other up
Yep.
every short down situation, or every other time Jared Goff drops back for a pass. So I mean, those were the glaring things. I could go on, like I'm sure you can, but like just off the top of the dome, since I started out with the Rakim thing, those were the main culprits to me.
Yeah, no, listen, so obviously we saw the same game, and much of what you said is what I observed. I'll do something that's antithetical to my nature. I'll point out a few positives because I'm cynical by nature.
Oh man.
But I did want to point out a few positives. First of all, shout out to Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, because in the not too distant past, we had a 24 game losing streak at Lambeau that we snapped in 2015. So wasn't too long ago that going to Lambeau and getting dominated was pretty much par for the course. So the fact that this is somewhat alarming and upsetting is a credit to the new regime and the way that things have changed. Not only do we expect to not go there and get dominated, we expect to go there and compete and win.
Yeah.
So that is a credit to the new regime. Also, this was the first game with no preseason reps, first time coordinators, first time the offensive line had played together as a unit. And it was Hutch's first game in 11 months. And you astutely pointed out on a previous show that it's going to take him some time to trust his leg. And I saw that. Much of what you saw was straight bull rush. There was very little bend.
Yep.
One of the things that Hutch could do is get low, get under those bigger tackles to get around them. Very little of that.
Well,
he took, he didn't take any, like sometimes he would take an outside route, then come back inside, start inside, then go outside. He did very little. Everything was straight bull rush. So, and I thought about you, because in order to get low, you got to lean real hard on your inside leg. And it just didn't look like he trusted it enough. And it's going to take him
take a while,
psychologically, some time to get there. Like as much as we wished that, okay, he going to come back and be the same Hutch. He had one quarterback hit and no tackles.
And a football snap is so fast.
I mean,
a
live rep.
Yeah, it's over so fast.
So,
yeah.
Also, the other positive is that we do have the Bears coming in. Caleb Williams is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL, or he was the most sacked quarterback in the NFL last season. He struggles with exotic zone looks.
Yep.
He will hold the ball. He will stand in the pocket. If there is a such thing as an easy quarterback to sack, it's him.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity for our pass rushers to get some confidence. That's the bright side. But I'm not going to sit here and gaslight Lions fans.
Yeah.
That's about all I can stand of the positive nonsense.
I was waiting for that 07 side, that 07 Cherokee size butt.
I mentioned that we didn't have any preseason reps with the O-line as a unit. That was coaching malpractice. We talked about that all during the preseason, how they should be taking preseason reps with the first team.
One of those fears that was like number one.
Yeah, with new coordinators, basically three new interior linemen, because you got Glasgow moving to center. They needed to take preseason reps together.
It's a disservice to them.
Yeah,
as an offensive unit.
Yeah, you just didn't help. But that was coaching malpractice. And that's on Dan Campbell. I don't want to hear nothing about no coordinators. That's on Dan Campbell. That's his decision to sit there and let them not go out there. They should have had at least 25 snaps as a unit. And I don't care about Tate Ratledge playing individually. They needed to all get out there together because an offensive line is a unit. That's why you have a 7-man sled. Because one guy needs to know what the other guy is doing. He needs to not only know his own assignment, he needs to know the guy next to him's assignment so that they can link, so that they can hook up and block appropriately. They need to know how to come off and double team together. You know, they need to know where their feet going to be when they need to come off. And that's why they couldn't run block. That's why we had 46 yards rushing and average 2.
It's the only reason why men that big don't snap their lower legs in half.
Yeah, it is. But that's why we average 2 yards and some change rushing per rush.
Yeah.
That's why 16 times when our running backs started with the ball, they got hit in the backfield before they could even get going. It's a wonder we had 46 yards rushing. So we needed to play as a unit. That's on Dan Campbell. That's a problem. We allowed a high-quality offensive lineman in Kevin Zeitler to go to the Tennessee Titans for a base salary of $3.75 million. We allowed an edge rusher that had 9.5 sacks last year to go to the Philadelphia Eagles for a base salary of $2 million.
We're good.
That's what Dan Campbell told us. He said, we're good. We have $43 million in cap space. Their replacements were a guy, a second-year guard for Zeitler, who was unproven and wholly unprepared.
Hey, Jason, who did the Green Bay Packers just pick up?
They just got Michael Parsons. They addressed their edge rusher.
Oh, okay.
And for Smith, we got Marcus Davenport. That's who we expecting to step in. Marcus Davenport, the last healthy season that he played was 2022. He played 15 games. He had 1/2 of a sack in those 15 games. We expecting him to turn into some sack master. And I got people online telling me that Zadarius Smith's 9.5 sacks last year, that just wasn't good enough to give him what he left for was a base salary of $2 million. It could get up to $4.5 million with incentives. And we got $43 million in cap space. That's the money he was looking for.
I wonder how did those talks break down? Something happened. Like
we just wasn't spending any money this offseason.
But for why?
I don't know. But that was general management malpractice. Our offseason consisted of signing DJ Reed because we lost Carlton Davis and re-signing Kirby Joseph.
Right, but I mean,
we re-signed J-Mo. We re-signed J-Mo, but right before the season started.
But wait a minute. Wait. Hold on, man. Wait. What's the sign? Like, who's on the horizon that they have their eyes on, that they are shelving or and escrowing this money for? Like,
hey man, if I knew, I would tell you. Listen, I understand that we do have a lot of guys coming up.
I'm so confused.
We have guys coming up that are going to need to be re-signed. We do have guys that are going to need to be re-signed after this year.
Such as
Hutch.
Okay.
Jahmyr Gibbs is going to need to be re-signed.
Okay.
Laporta. But these guys got 1-year deals. The guys I just named got 1-year deals. So they would be done.
Right.
They would have a cap hit for this season.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, I'm not telling you give these dudes didn't leave for long-term money.
Right.
Had they left for long-term money, fine. Like you can't sign everybody to a long-term deal.
Mm-hmm.
After this season, we can re-sign whomever we need to sign. I'm not telling you to give anybody a big, huge deal. People that were complaining that we didn't give Micah Parsons, I'm not interested in giving Micah Parsons $200 million. And I know that he makes an impact. We talked about, talked about that value of the edge. I'm not interested in doing that.
Check last week's show.
Yeah. We don't need to relitigate that. I'm not interested in that. But we let 2 quality players, in my opinion, go. And by the way, Jordan Love had time to take selfies, call his girlfriend, do his taxes in the backfield. We had 2 quarterback hits all game. We had no sacks and we had 2 tackles for loss. We wasn't in their backfield at all. And yes, I understand that Hutch was not himself. You can look at the film and tell he wasn't really doing any moves to try to get around his man. You know, like, and we weren't moving him around like we did last year. Like, we moved him to the inside. We moved him. He basically stayed on one side and bull rushed because, again, he needs to psychologically feel good about that leg, that it's not going to give out.
The light bulb has to go off.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I understand, because I've had 5 surgeries on my right knee, including an ACL reconstruction. So I understand that they can give you a clean bill of health and tell you good, but until psychologically you feel better about the structural integrity of your limb, you're not going to go back to doing what you were doing before. And I'm gonna touch on Tyrion Arnold too.
Go ahead, please.
The number that I'm seeing across popular salary cap sites is 31 million under the cap right now. Currently.
Okay.
But that does go to 40 million over next year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So at any rate, those are minuscule numbers that I just gave you, though. 3.75 million is what Zeitler's base salary is. Again, with incentives, I think he can make another 5 million. So that'd have been 8.75 million. That's a 1-year deal that he signed with Tennessee. And again, Zadarius signed a 1-year deal, base salary of 2 million. I think it goes to 4.5 million with incentives.
I saw that and I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. We could have signed those guys easily, both of them. And I understand that we let Zeitler go before we knew Ragnow was retiring, but Frank Ragnow almost retired 2 years ago.
I mean, he's been dealing with like injuries for the past 3 seasons at least.
You should have signed Zeitler just out of pure security. Like, you know what? Let's make sure that we at least got him back. We got Glasgow, and then we would have needed to replace one guy instead of having to shuffle 3. But I digress. I want to talk about Tyrion Arnold because I put this up on our social site. I tagged there. Everybody has one page in it. Because I reposted what I posted the night that we drafted Tyrion Arnold. It was a little tongue in cheek, but I said, y'all told me to let Brad Holmes cook. I said, and right now it's looking like mom's spaghetti. You know, in parenthetical text, Eminem version. I said, I'm going to McDonald's. And I was talking about Tyrion Arnold because I said a corner that runs a 4.5 is not a number 1 corner in the NFL. And everybody brought up Jalen Johnson. The lone exception, he ran a 4.58, and he's a number 1 corner. Every other number 1 corner runs a sub 4.4. Personally, I think Jalen Johnson was hurt when he ran the 4.58, but fine, whatever. He's the lone exception. Romeo Doubs ran right by Tyrion Arnold for a 48-yard catch, and he had safety help. This is why I said that. If Christian Watson was healthy, Romeo Doubs would be the 3rd best receiver on that team. If Romeo Doubs played for Cincinnati, he'd be returning punts or he'd be on the practice squad. If you can't guard Romeo Doubs,
a number 3
receiver, you're not a number 1 corner. And it's okay. Not being a number 1 corner doesn't mean you can't play in the NFL. I said, I don't hate the pick. I said, but for where he picked him, that's usually where you would pick a number 1 corner in the first round. Tyrion Arnold is not a number 1. He was playing slot corner at Alabama. He wasn't the number 1 corner there. Kool-Aid McKinstry was the number 1 corner there. But I digress. I'm like, he's just not a number 1 corner. That doesn't mean you can't play in the defensive backfield. He's just not a number 1 corner. You can't put him at the number 1 corner. He gonna look like Cam Sutton.
Yeah, you can't put him on number 1.
Yeah, anymore. I'm like, you put him on Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is gonna have 200 yards receiving. If you try to put him on an island, I'm like, who's the number 1? I said, bro, if you put Sauce Gardner on Romeo Doubs, he's erasing Romeo Doubs. You put him on a milk carton. You won't hear from Romeo Doubs.
Not that night.
Jalen Ramsey, old Jalen Ramsey, this old version of Jalen Ramsey. You put old Jalen Ramsey on Romeo Doubs, it's over. Romeo Doubs won't be heard from. And I'm not knocking on Romeo Doubs either. I think he's a good number 3 receiver, but he's a number 3.
Right.
That's why they drafted receiver. They drafted Matthew Golden in the first round. That's because they didn't have a number 1 receiver. So I'm not dishing on Tyrion Arnold. I'm just saying that you're trying to make him into a number 1 receiver.
But I mean, to your point, it's it's not a coincidence that he keeps blowing out a tire because they're matching him up on faster guys.
And he's trying to run with him and he can't.
Blowing tired out, trying to keep up with guys that routinely run 4.3s and high 4.4s and low 4.2s.
And this is all I'm saying. I'm like,
I'm with you, man.
He can't do it. I'm like, and actually the pass defense got markedly better when Amik Robertson went over there and started playing that side corner. Now, granted, in fairness, Green Bay only attempted 6 passes in the second half. So, they basically took their foot off the gas.
They knew that. I mean, that game was over in the first quarter.
I will get on Johnny Morton a little bit, the offensive coordinator. The offense was not creative at all. The offense was not creative at all. I don't recall anybody going in motion. I don't believe I saw a single screen pass to the wide receiver or the running back. I didn't see any boot actions. I didn't see him attempt to move the pocket at all.
Give me some double tight.
Yeah, I didn't see him attempt to move Goff off platform. You can move the pocket if they're getting a pass rush. There is a way to swing the pocket so that Goff has more time to look downfield, to look for deeper throws. Everything doesn't have to be a straight drop back.
No.
We have to get more creative, particularly when you see the offensive line struggling. That's what an offensive coordinator is supposed to do. The OC can't just throw his hands up like, well, the offensive line ain't blocking. So, I mean, we in the end zone, we just going to do another straight drop back. And the offensive line is getting bull rushed. I mean, Taylor Decker just getting pushed right back into the quarterback. If you see that happening, move the pocket so that Goff is a little more off platform and he get a couple more seconds to throw the ball. We got to get more creative offensively when you see the offensive line struggling like that. You can't just keep, we just going to do another straight drop back. And I understand you can't make a whole game plan out of that, but you can say, okay, I see we struggling. Let's see if we can get some juice with one shot down the field, with one boot action, with one off schedule, like something.
Yeah.
With one off platform play, something. You have to give that a whirl.
I just think everybody looked overwhelmed early.
Yeah. Yes. I concur. And then the final point that I'll make on the negative side, and I said the positive is that you got Chicago coming in. Well, the negative is that Chicago is now a must-win.
I was about to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's a must-win game.
Must-win, because if you lose to Chicago, you'll be 0-2. You can pencil in 0-3.
You'll be 0-2 in the division.
Yeah, but you can pencil in 0-3 because you're not going to Baltimore and winning. So, and 0-3 teams have a minuscule chance of making the playoffs historically. So, we need to lock in. We need to focus on the next game, the home opener.
Yeah.
And we need to go ahead and beat Chicago, handle that little bit of business, and regroup and get ready for Baltimore. And that's the Lions, man.
All right.
Moving on to more NFL action.
All right.
Because I want to talk about the Sunday night game and then the Monday night game.
Two goodies.
Yep. And I also want to talk about Terence Crawford and Canelo coming up, man. We gotta do a nice deep dive on that. Let's talk about the Sunday night game, because the Lions almost irritated me to the point where I didn't cut it on. almost gave up football for the day, and I'm just glad I did.
I mean, it was looking a lot that way in the middle parts of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was turning into an unwatchable game.
What happens to Baltimore, man, where they are kind of becoming notorious for giving up these leads late in games? Is that a John Harbaugh thing? Is that a lack of aggressiveness with play calling? Is it bad luck? What is it?
Could be a little bit of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like specifically Sunday night, I think that was more bad luck than. I mean, give Buffalo credit.
Mm-hmm.
They kept playing.
Yeah.
You know, they stuck to their game plan. But the fumble by Derrick Henry was just
Inexplicable.
I mean, all he needs to do is just keep possession of the ball and the game's over.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that just swung everything the other way. And football, until the advent of the Steph Curry 3-pointer
Right.
was like the sport where like when momentum swings, it swings. It's like really hard
It
to
is, yeah,
to
I
get
agree.
it back. Like,
Yep, I agree.
you know, and that's just going back to like Buffalo, Houston,
Yeah.
93. You know what I mean? That was
Right.
just like one of those
AFC
unbelievable things
championship,
where it's just
yeah.
like, or
Frank Wright.
yeah,
Yeah.
and or even New England and Atlanta in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
right.
it's just like when it just starts to swing, you know, hope something else wonky happens on your end to kind of counteract it. That's
Right.
kind of like what you're dealing with. But outside of that, just looking at that game in a bubble, when you talk about Baltimore specifically, I think it's still going to boil down to they're going to go as far as Lamar Jackson takes them.
Yeah.
I mean, King Henry, you know, is probably going to flirt with 2,000 again if he stays healthy.
I agree. That
But-
dude is just a monster. No, you just not gonna want to get in front of him late in games.
Yeah, but he's there, you know, to enhance what Lamar brings.
Yep.
And it was funny when they were showing the stats from last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at Lamar Jackson's stats from last year, they are so absurd.
Yeah, insane.
And then you look at Josh Allen's stats, which are good.
Yeah.
You know, but like if you were like, you know, what they call a casual, you know, you would be like, okay, how this dude win MVP and this guy like didn't he have like over 1,500 more passing yards than this guy?
Yeah.
Like what are we doing here?
Right.
But if you watch that fourth quarter,
Right. 259 passing yards in the fourth quarter.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you look at the fourth quarter between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson,
yes,
that explained it
yeah,
to me. Like if somebody was to just be, you know, again, just a novice and look at those two numbers and wonder why one player won MVP and why the other had to settle for runner up. The fourth quarter, all you have to do was watch that and that would explain it.
Yeah.
You know, and then shout out to Michelob Matt Prater on that game winning field goal.
41 years old, man.
Yeah,
Just
man.
signed this past week.
Shout out, Matt.
Yeah, no, I mean that game, that was a great game. You know, the only thing I have to add to what you said, because I think, you know, you summed it up nicely, is that I would be concerned if I was both teams giving up 40 points. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, true.
Neither defense, I thought, acquitted themselves very well. I'm like, both of them have challenges on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
I expected really both defenses to look much better. And I understand that, you know, both of the offenses are, you know, they present a lot of challenges.
Mhm.
You know, like they don't have, you know, aside from Lamar Jackson and obviously Derrick Henry on Baltimore. And then, of course, you know, I love Josh Allen and, you know, Cook is obviously awesome, but they don't have a lot of those names that jump out at you. But because the quarterbacks are so versatile, they present all kinds of problems.
Right.
You know, like the offense can just hit you in all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
And there's just, and then I predicted that Keon would have a big breakout year, and he had a big game.
He did.
Him
and Kincaid.
Yeah. I'm like, it's just they do present a lot of challenges, like just because Lamar and Josh can, they have that dual threat and they can throw it. It's just very hard to defend everything that they can do.
Yep.
And they just, they make weapons out of guys who you would be like, well, who was that? Is that Dalton Kincaid again? Mac Hollins, just, like guys who you would not necessarily nor, they wouldn't have you quaking in your boots if you just heard their names, just in a one-off.
Yeah.
But when you put them with Lamar, you put them with Josh Allen, they Shakir and, like just these guys
in big moments, they know how to get in their line of sight and make a play.
So, and then, let's flip over to, before we talk a little college football, let's talk about the Monday night game.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily want to take the Chicago angle. I want to talk about JJ McCarthy. First game in over 600 days. And all he did was account for 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Him and Josh Allen. They the two people who did that over the weekend. The reigning league MVP and a rookie starting in his first game.
Well,
so, talk about the dichotomy. And I think, that feat has only been accomplished, 6 or 7 times in NFL history. So it's a big deal. When I saw that, I'm like, that's why they got rid of Sam Darnold.
No question. And then did you see Sam Darnold in Seattle?
Yeah, looking like Sam Darnold.
There you go.
But I'm like, Kevin O'Connell is a guru. He is, like everybody looks good. Every quarterback looks good in his system. And I don't want to discount JJ McCarthy because, doing that in the fourth quarter is big time.
Yeah.
That's big time. But McCarthy, like, I even saw that at Michigan. I'm like, he got that thing about him. And, I'm not even a Michigan fan.
It's all right, man.
But I even saw that with Tom. Tom Brady not going to overwhelm you with his arm talent. He's not that athletic.
JJ is a pretty good athlete, though.
He is. He's pretty good. Like he ain't a crazy athlete, but he's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good athlete, for sure.
But they just got that thing, though. You know what I'm saying? Like they got that mental toughness, they got that fortitude,
computer brain.
They smart, like
they can just diagnose,
and
quick.
And I contrast that with Caleb Williams, who I think does have a lot of the physical tools and gifts, but he's missing that thing.
Yeah.
That, like, I don't think that he reads defenses very well. Like, if you get him on script, like he started 10 for 10, you get him on that script and he's going to look great. I think that where you will get frustrated with him is stuff at the line of scrimmage, pre-snap reading.
Press him up front.
Yep.
Pre-snap, then trick him out, and he's,
exotic looks, disguise coverages. That's where I've been on this with Caleb, and a lot of the national pundits are coming around to my point of view. But I've been on this with Caleb. What worries me about him is when you got to start playing quarterback. You got to start finding the Mike linebacker. You got to start identifying stuff pre-snap. I don't know that that's going to ever be his strong suit. His ceiling is high if he can ever figure that part out. I'm not sure that he can do that. I think McCarthy can do all of that, but I don't think he's got all of the physical tools that Caleb has. But I don't think it's going to matter because I think you're going to be able to win with McCarthy because he's going to be able to just process everything that you do. Like, that's what happened. What happened with McCarthy is he figured out what the Bears were doing.
Yep.
And he started to pick it apart.
Yep.
That's exactly it. I mean, even with all of the rust, not having playing a lot of live snaps, not playing in a game that had counted in overs, you know what I'm saying? Like he played some preseason reps, what what I'm saying? Like first real action in over 600 days. Like he figured it out. He figured out what they was doing, and he started to break them down systematically.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, and again, don't want to make too much of one game, and or you know, I'm not overreacting, but I saw that in him at Michigan. I thought that, I'm like, you know, this guy does have something. Like, he didn't overwhelm me with his throwing ability.
Right.
He didn't, none of that. But I'm like, you know, this guy might have something.
Results.
Yeah, like I like what he brings to the football field. But I'll take your thoughts on that one.
Hey man, hail to the victors, baby. JJ McSizzle in the building. But no, he to me, what I liked more so than anything was his guys started to rally around him.
Yeah, the traits.
You know,
It's the traits.
because I'm looking, I'm like, he got a captain's ladder already.
Mm-hmm. It's the traits, man.
You know, and you know,
Yeah.
that's year 2, haven't played a real snap. He's got a captain's ladder on Justin Jefferson's thing.
Yeah. And I think Justin Jefferson even said, he was like, "Oh, we knew he was going to."
You see what I'm saying? And that stuck out to me because the beginning of the game, it started off kind of rough.
Yeah,
You know,
it
started off kind of rough. A lot of moon rocks and some worm burners
Yeah. Yep.
going out there, but it almost looked like in real time you could see him kind of settling in.
Yep.
And just like the process was starting to just kind of slow down.
Yep.
You know, everything was kind of just starting to like fall in. And as the game got when the stakes got higher and the game got tighter, it became slower for him.
Yeah.
You know, so that was impressive. And again, you know, it's, like you say, it's one game.
Yep.
But it's a hell of a game to build on. You know, no doubt about it. And as for Caleb, the main thing with Caleb to me, and then like again, I listen, I'm probably like the last dude you want to talk about, you know, quarterback play. But what I noticed to me is that he really struggles when he has to plant his feet and throw.
Yeah. No, you're
Like,
right.
like when, and you would think a guy with that kind of arm strength, because he makes like off script throws look easy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like cross body, you know, other side of the field stuff. But I noticed routinely, just that game in particular, because it was something that I called back to that you mentioned like last year. And because, you know, I was a big Caleb Williams guy, still am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, the book is not
But
written on it.
But when you said that, because you know, you look at Caleb Williams and you're like, wait a minute, every time I see this dude, he balled.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, he was always shaking guys off.
Mm-hmm.
He was always rolling right, rolling left. Throwing something saucy. You know, it wasn't a whole lot of, you know, drop 5, drop 7. You know, plant boom, plant boom, plant. It wasn't a lot of those. Not saying that he can't do it,
Right.
but Monday night in particular, I noticed pretty much more than half of the time where he had to like just step back and plant. It sailed high, or it went in the dirt.
Yep.
And every time that happened, the camera went right to Ben Johnson, and he had the gas face like every time.
Yeah.
So I wonder, you know, how long is his fuse gonna be with that?
Yeah. No, I mean, listen,
Because he's got weapons. Like Caleb's got weapons.
there's no excuse,
You know,
and you don't get a long time.
he got
It's just,
Azuda, he's got Swift.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's got a couple of other guys I'm brain farting on right now, but he's got weapons.
Yeah, yeah. DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore.
Yeah.
That was the other receiver.
Nah, man, they got, listen.
He's got pieces.
Yeah, I like Colston Loveland.
Yeah.
Nah, man, listen, I'm with you. I think that there's no excuse. There's no reason, you know, why they shouldn't be good. They shouldn't be excellent, really. So yeah, nah, man, we keeping our eyes on the Bears situation. You know, hopefully
we'll get a close look at him Sunday.
Yeah, Caleb struggles for at least another week, because
Right.
we need that action. Let's touch on a little bit of college football. Michigan State. Just briefly, man. they played an exhilarating game against Boston College.
Don't call it a comeback.
Aiden Childs looked great. I don't have a stat line in front of me. Michigan State won that game 42-40 in double overtime. He threw a great pass to Kelly in the back of the end zone for the final 2-point conversion. It finally looks like he's coming around. Like last year, you could see the athleticism, you could see the arm strength, you could see the arm talent. He just turned the ball over way too much.
Just some epic brain fun.
Man. But this year it looks like he's getting over some of that again. Second game, not going to jump out the window.
Boston College.
Yeah.
Kind of, but.
Man, but the defense, Michigan State, man. Come on, baby. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Y'all got to come on with the defense. It looked horrible.
Yeah, left a lot to be desired.
But listen, I'm taking all wins because, I guess we kind of in a regrouping mode with Smith, the new coach. So
yeah.
I'm trying to be patient. And we don't have to turn this into a Michigan State conversation. I just wanted to mention that big
Thank
win.
you.
It was exhilarating. I do want to talk a little bit about Bryce, man.
We don't have to.
Michigan went to Oklahoma and lost again. I don't have that final score in front of me. You grab that for me if you want, nephew. Bryce struggled a little bit, man. But again, this is a true freshman. I'm giving a lot of grace because I think Bryce got all the tools. He's going to be fine. He's going to be great. That's a very, very tough game at night in a hostile environment. Second game as a true freshman, a real test. So, I'm not making a lot out of it. I think that I would like to see Michigan get another great receiver. I think it's been a while since
another great.
Well, they've had Braylon Edwards. I'm talking about like they've had in the past.
Like,
yeah.
What you mean, like a DPJ?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like they've had in the past, like one of the guys they've had in the because it feels to me
Black or something.
Yeah, it feels to me like it's been a while since they've had a really great like a Mario Manningham. Like one of those ilk.
Been a while, bro.
Because these dudes, like, even when they make a catch, it's contested. Like they have to jump over the safety or something. Like, can somebody separate out there? Like you see Ohio State's receivers, they running by themselves.
But man, they have guys, man, but their offense just isn't wide receiver friendly. And the 1 year that they tried it for like 4 games and didn't.
They went right back to 3 yards in the cloud of dust.
So
I think they're gonna have to give Bryce some more weapons on the outside.
Well, to maximize who Bryce
Correct.
is,
yes.
100%.
Yeah, so I think I think Michigan gonna be fine. I think they gonna they're gonna be okay. I think that you get him some more weapons on the outside. They're gonna rebuild that offensive line a little bit. I think that they got some growing up to do.
I'm more concerned after that game Saturday. I'm more concerned with Michigan's run defense than I am Bryce Underwood.
Yes, the run defense looked
non-existent.
It did. And is it me or did the defensive tackles look light? They look small.
It was a reason for that.
I'm like, they look little.
Man, again, another one of those things where I didn't expect it until I saw it.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, they lost 2 all-world defensive tackles in Grant and Mason Graham. I mean, like, they both are playing on Sunday. So, like, that's hard to replace. I mean, not for Michigan. Michigan typically does replace them. So, like, in fairness, but it is hard to replace when you have 2 really great defensive tackles.
High first round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like they're both 2 great defensive tackles. So, I mean, it is going to look, it ain't gonna look like it looked last year because they were so good, but I agree. They look real light up front. It was very easy for them to collapse that middle and get moving.
Yeah, that bothered me way more than Bryce.
Yes, I agree. I'm like, Bryce gonna be fine. He's just a kid. So yeah, the Michigan fan base, I think that a lot of them took that loss with equanimity. it's a very tough night game on the road for a freshman quarterback that they bringing along pretty slowly.
Right.
The offense also looked a little tame, looked a little dumbed down. It didn't look like they let him open it up a lot. So, Bryce will be good. Bryce is
Yeah,
gonna
shutting
cook.
down
Man.
Hayes to do that.
Yeah, Bryce is gonna cook though.
Yeah, he'll be fine. It'll be fine. But as you
Um,
say, get him some weapons.
yeah, and then Arch Manning against San Jose State.
Cooper's son.
I'm not gonna belabor this because I know, the Arch fans, particularly on TikTok. Listen, guys, I'm not trying to run down Arch, man. He just, again, he seems to be struggling with some of the basic throws. It happened again. He had a really good stretch of the San Jose State game where it looked like he was going to snap out of it. And then he went back to struggling. So I don't know. Maybe this is psychological. Maybe it's something in his head. Again, so they got 2 more cupcakes where he should be able to get his footing.
He better.
But I would still, if I'm a Texas fan, which I'm not, so I'm looking at this totally objectively, I would be a little uneasy about what I'm seeing.
Yeah, those numbers weren't the real story.
Nah.
Like they were playing and an inferior opponent.
They should have hung. They should hang 70 on
70.
San Jose State.
Yeah, easily. Either like Arch shouldn't have played in the second half.
Right.
Like
And
San Jose
needed the reps.
That's what I'm saying. Like San Jose State, it's like, that's 56-3 halftime.
Yeah.
And then, it's stat night for everybody.
Exactly.
Else.
Yeah. And Arch is wearing a ball cap for the whole second.
Yeah, like, man, get the second string later tonight.
Drinking Gatorade, laughing with the boys.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, we watching that. We watching that real close. Because
come on, Arch. We rooting for you. Don't be Cooper's son.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Watch some film. And most importantly, man, pay attention to the mechanics of throwing. But this is the main event, man. Let's get to the Canelo Crawford fight.
Yeah.
Because that is coming up this Saturday.
Finally.
On Netflix streaming. I'm excited, man.
Yes.
We've been waiting for quite some time for this fight.
Yes.
I want to get your predictions. I want to know if you've seen anything that is swaying you one way or the other.
Okay.
Bud, there's been some pictures of Bud that come. He looks great. He looks fit. He looks big. But he has been, he hasn't fought since last April of 2024. Does the rust give you any pause? And who do you think is going to take this thing, man? And how do you expect the fight to play out?
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's loaded, man.
But no, we're good. I waffled back and forth on this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Just simply because they are just two different type of fighters.
Yes.
But what makes them different is is so dominant and deadly. And I'm just trying to kind of take that and in my mind, put that up against each other and see how that will play out. Initially, from the jump, I was always going to root outwardly for Bud Crawford to win.
Of course, yeah.
Like my rooting
interest
is for Terence Crawford. My feelings and thoughts were kind of always in the middle.
Right.
Just because of the unknown, let's just say. And a lot of times when there's a fight of this magnitude and a fighter is like doing something drastic, like moving up a few weight classes, so to speak, usually the guy on the other end, isn't anywhere near their peak form.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like John Ruiz wasn't anywhere near, the Ruiz that would legitimately, fight a Roy Jones
Right.
at that stage.
Right.
Whereas here, Canelo Alvarez, though I wouldn't say he's near his prime, he's still fairly close to peak form.
Yes, he is.
Like you know, what
He's
I mean?
actually the younger man.
He's like he's a smarter version of himself now. Where before with the youth, he may have been a little bit lighter on his feet.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I just think with the battles that he's been in, he's a smarter fighter.
Yeah.
For it. So there's that. But as the fight got closer, and I started to kind of see, like you say, like some of the physical changes in Bud Crawford, it's like, okay, this might work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I just worry about, can he hurt him?
Right.
Because Canelo's gonna come at him.
Yes.
Like he's like that's just how he gets down. Like he's gonna come at him. So I'm weighing in my head, like, if Bud gets to a point where he hurts him, how does he follow that up once he hurts him?
Right.
Does he get too greedy, or does he take control of the dance?
Right.
And win that way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or does he get greedy and then mess around and get knocked out?
And get caught. Right.
So
Yeah.
but I think Bud knows what's at stake. I think he knows there aren't too many more of these fights for him, just by sheer age alone. But going how things are going now, that may not be the case.
Yeah,
but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah. We gonna touch that. We gonna touch that too.
But I just think in terms of like competitively, in terms of like pound for pound,
correct
conversation. There's not too many of those fights left. So I think he comes in mentally ready to do what needs to be done. So I predict Terence Bud Crawford wins by unanimous decision.
So you think he wins a boxing match?
I think he wins a boxing match. I think that is his best path to victory.
Yeah, that's I echo a lot of that. Because when I think about it, you're right though. It's hard not to acknowledge that Canelo is just the naturally bigger man. He's gone up to light heavyweight and he knocked out Kovalev brutally.
Yeah.
He knocked out Caleb Plant as super middleweight at 68. So I'm like, he is the naturally bigger guy. And it's impossible not to acknowledge that, understand that, and understand what that means. Like, even if Bud is putting on the weight, and getting up to 68.
Yeah.
And he looks comfortable at 68. That's it. That is in the back of my mind. Like, this is Canelo's neighborhood.
Yeah.
You're an interloper. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're an interloper.
Like, people don't understand what Bud Crawford's attempting to pull off here.
Yeah, no, you're an interloper in his neighborhood. But I have an immense respect for Bud's his fighting intellect, his smarts, and his boxing skill. And I tend to lean toward Bud by unanimous decision too. Another thing is, and I don't want to knock Canelo,
right?
But
all-time great.
But he has avoided the hungry dogs, and this is a hungry dog. Terence Crawford is a hungry dog.
Yeah.
He's a beast. Like, and this ain't Munguia. This, you know what I'm saying? This is not one of them. And I do feel like, you know, I heard Bob Arum say, you know, Canelo been fighting for money. You know, Canelo just wanted to be rich. And I'm like, and while I don't necessarily subscribe to that entirely, I do feel like, you know, like when you see him fighting the Mongi, like when you see him avoiding David Benavidez for 3 years.
Talk about that for years.
Yeah. You see him avoiding him for 3 years, you know. He was scared of David Benavidez. Let's just call that what it is.
Should be.
I mean, yeah, because David Benavidez, yeah, like he had the highest knockout percentage in boxing. He knew what that meant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he knew what David Benavidez represented. And I'm like, and it's no shade to Canelo, but I'm like, when you avoid the hungry dogs and you end up in there with a hungry dog, you know, it's going to be different.
Yes,
now,
indeed.
With that being said, the only real unknown in this fight is Bud's chin. That's the only real unknown. And at them smaller weights, when somebody checked Bud's chin, his response was to get aggressive.
He gets mad
and start going after him.
Can't do that Saturday night.
And that's my fear.
Can't do that.
My biggest fear is that
that's what I said. I was like, if
Canelo check that chin.
He's got to control the dance.
And Bud start going in and swinging and flailing. That could be a problem.
Yeah, he got to control the dance
because Canelo can rock him.
Yeah, you got to control it. Keep the hands above the waist.
This is a different animal that you're gonna be in there with that hits like you ain't been hit before. And I don't care what power you thought you felt at another weight class, this is different.
He has to fight his nature to win this fight.
Yeah, Canelo has knocked out light heavyweights brutally. He knocked out, go look at the Kovalev knockout. It was brutal. He got that kind of power in both his hands. If you get sideways, he'll put you in check.
And Canelo has a chin.
Never been hurt.
Like Canelo has a chin. I mean, this man took Triple G's best work.
Yeah, never been rocked. Other than his professional debut, he got rocked. That's it. Like, excuse me, his first title fight. His first title fight, he got rocked early in the fight, but that was way back down at like 47. As a larger fighter, never been rocked. So, yeah, I don't think Bud can knock him out. Again, I might eat those words because we've seen Bud do amazing things, and the dude is strong as you know what. So I too have Bud by unanimous decision. Any outcome would not surprise me though.
Right.
The outcome to me that would be the most surprising would be Canelo by unanimous decision or Canelo by split decision, because I really don't see it going to the cards and Canelo outboxing Bud.
I was about to say now we could see it.
Yeah.
But you mean would we see an actual fight where that would be the actual result?
It would be a pencil whip.
Okay, I'm about to say
I can imagine a pencil whip.
I'm about to say, yeah, we can see that.
Yeah, I can imagine a pencil whipping in Vegas for Canelo, but I would have a hard time believing that Canelo's going to outbox Terence Crawford for 12 rounds. It would not surprise me if Canelo knocked him out. That would not surprise. That wouldn't shock. Let me say, it wouldn't shock me. I don't think that's going to happen, but that would not shock me. It wouldn't shock me. It would surprise me, but it wouldn't shock me if Terence Crawford knocked out Canelo. It wouldn't surprise me. The expectation is that they will fight 12 rounds, and I think Bud will come out with a decision. What I'm hoping for is a very close 12-round fight and a split decision. I don't think that's what we gonna get. Because much like when Canelo knocked out Kovalev, Canelo moved up to the 175. He was the smaller man with the faster hands, though.
Yeah.
And we saw that Canelo don't really deal well with smaller fighters with faster hands when he fought Floyd. And this is that again.
Yeah.
This is a smaller fighter with faster hands. Now, again, Bud don't have the defensive acumen that Floyd has. He don't necessarily get out the way as well, but Bud is much more powerful
and significant reach.
So, yeah, I mean, man, I listen. The one thing I can say is I'm excited about this fight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great fight. I think we all gonna win. No matter the outcome, because I expect it to be an entertaining fight. The buildup has been great. And yeah, I am anxious to see how Crawford handles the power. If Crawford can take Canelo's punch, it's gonna be a long night for Canelo. Yeah. If he can walk through those and he can just go and get what he wants, man, Bud is a great boxer. If Bud can place his shots where he wants to place them, it's gonna be bad for Canelo. I don't know that Canelo will get knocked out, but I think sometimes the worst thing is a guy with a great chin against a guy who can place his shots where he wants. Go back and look at the first Ali Liston fight. That's one of the most. It's hard to appreciate how bad Ali beat him up because the fight is in black and white.
Yeah,
but Sonny Liston refused to come out for the 9th round.
Well, he got tired of getting his face beat.
Yeah. That was brutality too. But it's just hard to see because Sonny Liston could not hit.
Floyd
Ali.
Patterson was bad too.
Yeah, and Ali could not miss hitting Sonny Liston. He was hitting Sonny Liston with 5 and 6 and 7 punch combos. It was just everything he threw was landing, it seemed like. But I digress, man, because I want to talk about the man. So we'll talk about the outcome next Wednesday, man. Y'all make sure y'all tuned in for that.
We got a couple of chats.
What you say?
We got a couple of chats.
Okay, give me the chats.
Flylingo said he can't wait for the fight this weekend.
Yes.
Flylingo, what up, though?
What up, though?
And then your youngest said Canelo got the advantage for sure, but gonna have to prove he can fight at 168 because he didn't look as dominant at 154.
That is true.
That's a fact.
That is true.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Thank y'all for the engagement. And now we got to talk about, again, man, these are topics that I hate talking about, these exhibition fights, but Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson have agreed to do an exhibition. Man. They have agreed to do a money grab exhibition fight. First of all, man, I love Mike. Why is Mike still getting in the ring at 60 years old, man? What is this about? Mike need money this bad? I know Floyd don't need the money. What is this about, man? Help me, bro. Come on, man. You the people's champ, man. Help the people, man. Tell the people what this is about.
I, like you, a child of the 80s, love Mike Tyson.
Man, love him.
But when I tell you, I literally do not want to see Mike Tyson's ass again.
No, right. That part, dog.
Like,
Mike, put some draws on, bro.
Anything that brings us closer to reliving that moment, I want no parts of.
Bro, I have forgot all about his ass. You just brought it up. Thank you.
I just don't want any parts of the show or like. Justin, what are the numbers on this thing? Have any figures been thrown out in terms of the financial compensation? Because the only thing that justifies this has to be what, $500 million territory? Because this shit is stupid.
No, I mean, I'm sure that is some
Mike
bread.
Tyson's 60
Yeah,
years
bro.
old.
I'm like, why are you doing this?
Floyd Mayweather is 50 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
What are we doing?
yeah, like what?
Or is he what, 48, 49?
Yeah, I mean,
He's got to be close to 50.
50 is close enough, bro. Like you could say, you just leave it at 50.
Like,
He close enough to 50 where saying 50 is not wild.
I mean, but this is and Mike's literally 60 years old.
Yeah. And I'm like, why are y'all doing this?
And it's like, for who?
Yeah. I mean, listen, this one I'm actually more interested in than Jake Paul and Javante Davis. But not much more. Only because it's Floyd. And I ain't gonna lie, I do kind of want to see the build up.
I was gonna say
I want to see them talking.
The press
trash.
conferences could be epic.
Yeah, I do kind of want to see the
I don't know if you remember the Conor McGregor Floyd press conferences.
Yeah.
Them shits was on a whole nother level
Yeah,
of ignorance.
Yeah.
So
I do kind of want to see these.
I'll yield to you there. The pre-fight build-up between Floyd Mayweather and
I can't lie, man.
an inebriated Mike Tyson
Yeah.
could reach levels of epicness of the likes we've never seen. I could agree with you there.
Yeah.
But again, we're talking about everything but the actual fight.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, like, I maintain. I have said for years, I maintain Mike Tyson is the most entertaining man in all of sports. And he has been.
In my lifetime, I'd have to give it to him.
Man. If you don't like it, change your effing station. It's one of the greatest. Go watch that. If you ain't seen
it is a fight.
Right? Yeah, that's he got some of the greatest one-liners that he wasn't trying to make in the history of sports, man. Like even when he was about to fight Jake Paul, and he told the little girl, "Legacy means nothing."
Oh, the little the little shorty, I forgot her name.
When he traumatized
that girl, man.
I said, man,
I ain't seen her at an event since.
Listen, he traumatized the baby, and I'm like, this is why Mike like that. Listen,
I ain't seen her at the U.S. Open. Was it Jazzy?
Yeah, man,
little Jazzy, man.
Listen,
Mike the traumatized.
Mike traumatized the baby. I'm like, who done let the baby interview Mike? First of all, who let the baby interview Mike Tyson? Y'all know Mike Tyson. He ain't wrapped too tight. Now I love Mike. And listen, there's always a seat that everybody has one podcast for Mike Tyson. If he would like to pull up and join us, I would love that, man. I would fan out a little bit, but I would love for you to come and join us.
Be epic.
But who let the baby interview Mike Tyson? When I first seen that, I said, who let the baby interview Mike Tyson? I wanted to jump through the screen and grab the baby. I'm like, no, somebody get the baby away from Mike Tyson.
Legacy. I'm nothing. I'm like,
I said, who let the baby?
said, come on, man.
Who let the baby interview Mike Tyson?
They didn't give Mike a joint.
I'm like, man, y'all know
they were supposed to give Mike a joint before he talked to that little girl, man. That wasn't right.
But anyway, man, that concludes our program today, man. I think we over.
Yeah, we had to make room for that.
We had
that, man.
But we appreciate y'all joining us, man, on the Everybody Has One podcast, man. Y'all please continue to like, continue to share, continue to subscribe. That is Everybody Has the #1 sports podcast on YouTube. That's Everybody Has One spelled out sports podcast everywhere else. That's Facebook, that's Instagram, that's TikTok, that's Twitch. Y'all continue to follow along, man. We might do a little fan casting on TikTok, man. We gonna get mic'd up this time.
Oh, for the fight?
Yeah, might do a little fan casting for the fight, man.
Okay.
We gonna have the whole family in the building too, man.
Yeah, that thing might get rocking.
Yeah, my oldest boy is home, man. So we might do a little fan casting. We might jump on TikTok live, maybe even jump on the Twitch stream. We don't do a lot of the Twitch streaming, but we might even jump on the Twitch stream. And let the fans get a look inside of how we do fight night, man. We always watch the fights together, man, just to let y'all behind the curtain a little bit. So
Como o festival.
Yeah, y'all stay tuned, man. Y'all stay tuned to that, man, and y'all stay tuned in to us, man. We'll be right back here next Wednesday at 8 p.m. or as close as we can get to it, man.
CP time.
It's the Everybody Has One podcast.